This application is going to give, I suppose me, if I'm doing it in my personal name, full latitude on providing the goods, providing the description of goods that we'll be selling. So we're going to be able to specify, we're going to get into any sort of detail if we're like a specific type of clothing, and we want to make sure that it's clearly in the register. This will give us the opportunity to do so, even if it's not in the trademark ID manual. So again, we always start out by going to the trademark application site, the initial application form site. I have it down here below. If you don't have time or you forget it, it's cool. Just search for USPTO and trademark filing, and you will see this page pop up. Now, you're going to click on initial application forms. Again, we're going to do a TS standard application, and this is for an individual. Now, one thing I want to remind you is I cheated in that before starting this show, I actually logged into the USPTO.gov site. So if I hadn't done that, it would have prompted me at this stage to log in. Now remember, the USPTO.gov site, it's pretty easy to create an account. It doesn't take that long, and it requires two-factor authentication. So just be aware of that. It's actually good, it's more secure, but after you log in, it sends you a code either to your email or it calls you. I like to do the email. Pretty quick, pretty easy. So once we get to here, this is really the start of the application process. Again, we're going to do the TS standard application. You can see it's $275 instead of $225. So you're shelling out an extra $50. But again, highly encourage it. Full latitude. You can put whatever description you want for your goods and services. So we're going to do the standard today. We're going to shell out another $50. We're going to do it in our personal capacity. So this is a start to finish video. And let's start the filing process. Now, owner of the mark, you have to put your last name followed by your first name followed by your middle initial. I always warn you in these videos, don't do a DBA unless it's actually a DBA. If you don't actually have a DBA registered with the county, fictitious business name, you probably shouldn't be checking that box. And again, we're going to do individual. We're going to have to enter our citizenship. If you did a company like a corporation or LLC, you would have had to enter the state that the entity was incorporated in. And here you're going to put your mailing address. Remember, this is relatively public, so just keep that in mind as you guys are doing this application on your own. If you guys have a PO box, highly recommend that you use it because this becomes public record. Very important to keep that in mind. Now, this happens to be a Impact Hub, a co-working space in Oakland, so I don't really mind too much. If you guys want to send me fan mail there, go for it. If you have a domicile address that you want to keep confidential, you can uncheck this box here and actually input it here. So you can put your actual address in here. Again, not really necessary, but just something to keep in mind. And your phone number, I recommend don't even put it, just leave it blank. Same with fax, don't put your fax number. But email is required. This is a new rule. They require you to input your email address. So we're just gonna put my work email, and then if you have a website address, you can put it in here. Now, because we didn't put our phone number in, it's going to give us a warning. It's going to say, hey, you didn't put your phone number in. It might make it harder for the examiner to contact you. That's really not going to be a problem because the trademark examiners have your email and they correspond over email. Usually, they sometimes call, but more often than not, they tend to just send you an email. Now, this is the part where we get to show off my skills here, and I created a JPEG. No issues, it's uploaded. I can show off, check it out. Now, as you can see, black and white, let me just remind everybody, this is important. It's gotta be, so it can't have, in any one dimension, it can't be greater than 944 pixels. So I always work on the image so that it's at the maximum. So it's at 944. I just think it looks better if you have a high resolution image at that high pixel amount. That way it doesn't look grainy, it looks really nice, and it looks really good on the principal register. Again, you can't, if you're gonna make it smaller, that's fine, but remember, it can't be any smaller than 250 pixels. So you have to be careful here in this case, since it's a lengthwise logo, you wanna make sure that the width doesn't fall under 250 pixels for some reason. Okay, so Lace Up, this is going to be our design. This is the brand that we are going to use to sell clothing, or me in this particular case. Now, one thing I want to remind everybody, in these past few episodes, we've been doing intent to use applications. That means that we're trying to secure the brand first. So an intent to use application, also referred to as a 1B application, gives you the opportunity to secure the brand name before you invest all these resources in marketing and branding and creating paper newsletters or however you're going to sell your clothing. This is the way to do it so that you know that you can actually secure the brand before you invest in all the marketing. Now, we're going to have to input a literal element. So this just means any text that shows up in the actual design of the logo, you have to put it in here. So in this case, I would type in lace up because it appears to be 2 words. And then, so I have this note here about black and white. Always encourage you, don't claim color as a feature of the mark. So you have to check this box here. Do not check this box if you're not claiming color as a feature. Now, the reason, why do I say that? Well, I say that because unless your color really is truly distinctive, there really is no added benefit for checking this box and claiming color as a feature. So I always encourage you, don't claim color as a feature of the mark. If you do, you have to describe what that color is here. So you describe it right in here. Again, there are some companies and there are some entities that have filed trademark applications successfully and protected a color. But again, it's rare, it's difficult, but it is possible. If your color really is truly distinctive and is used as a source identifier, it is possible. But if it's not, don't bother claiming color. Now here you have to provide a description of what the mark consists of. So we have to basically describe this letter. So we can say stylized, let's see, how about we do stylized lettering of the word lace up with a bow that extends below the word. How about that? Period's added automatically for you. You don't have to worry about that. We're going to hit continue, and we're going to move on. Now we get to the fun part where we get to take advantage of the TS standard application, where we had all the latitude for putting in the goods that we want to put in. So we're going to hit enter freeform text, and we're going to add the goods and services. So this is where we're going to add class 25. Now, remember, yesterday we did a TS Plus application, which saved us 25 or 50 bucks, but we didn't get to do this, where we get to really put in what clothing and apparel we're going to be selling. Here, we're going to assign the filing basis. We're going to do a section 1B application. This is a checkbox just saying that you have a true bona fide intention of using the mark in commerce. It's just reminding you of that. So once we check this and we click assign filing basis, we're almost done. So we're going to assign the filing basis, again, clothing and apparel, namely pajamas and nightgowns, filed under section 1B, we see right here. And we're going to continue. And now we are almost done. We just put our reference number. I'm going to do AVA T03. And then I'm going to add Victoria's email just so that she can also be in the loop. If you have an assistant, if you have someone on your team, if this is a company, remember, you can put up to 4 email addresses. Just separate them by a semicolon or comma. Now, when we hit continue, we're going to get to the part where we get to validate our application. So I am filing this application on my personal capacity on my behalf. So I can sign. Again, it's your name between slashes. And when you click the date signed, it just auto-populates. They make it really convenient so you can sign. You don't have to do a bluing signature. So just name between slashes. And then you do have to do your name. And again, it's the same format, last name, comma, first name, followed by your initial. And our position, we're going to be we're the holder because I'm filing in my personal capacity. So you can just type in owner. Some people like to type in holder. Some people like to call it, just do owner/holder. It's the same deal. And again, you have to put in your phone number. So I'm going to put in our phone number. Okay, very important, guys. So the first checkbox indicates that, yes, I have a bona fide intention of using the mark in commerce. Here's where you see that section 1B application. The second checkbox is just confirming that, yeah, to my knowledge and belief, I believe I have a right to use this trademark in commerce. So in other words, there isn't some other lace-up brand that I know about. The third checkbox is just confirming that everything in this application is factually supported. And then the last checkbox is that I'm signing under penalty of perjury, meaning that everything I say in this application is true. And if I lie, I could be subject to fine or imprisonment. Now, once I hit validate, I'm almost done. So this is the final page before you submit. But I always encourage everybody, make sure that you go through the application and you make sure that everything is correct. This is really, really important. you cannot change the mark after you submit the application. So if you realize later that your logo so if you go back and click on market, you can actually see the mark here. If you realize later that you uploaded the wrong design, you won't get a refund. That's it. You're going to have to go through the entire application all over again and pay another $275. So just keep that in mind. Go through the application carefully, make sure everything is correct, make sure that that your logo looks right, and that you upload the right version. Okay, very, very important. A lot of the other stuff you can change. For example, the description. Sometimes the examiner requires you to amend the description because they don't like your description. But again, just go through the application once carefully, make sure everything's correct, make sure you spelled your name right, make sure your address is correct. The class, so we're going under class 25 because we're doing clothing, and I'm going to be selling pajamas and nightgowns if anyone's interested. Victoria can send out more information about that later. And then again, section 1B application. This is our communication, our emails for communication correspondence from the trademark office. And lastly, we're good to go. So one thing I want to say, let's say I didn't want to file this application today and I wanted to do it tomorrow after I thought about it a little more. Not an issue. You can save the form. I'm going to hit save form. It's going to prompt me. It's going to download what's called a .obj file. Just download it, save it, and then tomorrow when I go in, all I'll do is at the very, very first page, after I log into USPTO.gov, after I click that initial application link, it'll prompt me. It'll say, would you like to upload an OBJ file? So you can upload the OBJ file, and it'll literally save the entire session. So you can quickly click through and get back to this end stage. And just if you don't believe me, you can click on go back to modify. Really easy. You can go back to literally every single page where you input information. You can modify it if you need to. And then the nice thing is that when you go forward, it saves all your information. So you're not having to re-enter information all over again into the form. So really nice way to navigate the site. They make it really convenient, really easy, and you can always update information if in the event that, hey, when you look at the input application, you have a typo or you mess something up. I think yesterday, Victoria, we had a typo, right? And so we actually redid one of the descriptions. We had to modify it because there was a typo, I think, in the description of the mark. So we're good to go. We got our complete application, we reviewed it, it's correct. So this is an individual application for the TS standard application. So once I hit submit, once I check this box, so this checkbox is just confirming, yeah, no refunds, all right, this is it. But once I hit submit, then it's gonna take me to the payment page where I'm gonna pay $275. But after I submit my credit card information and hit submit, I am going to get a filing receipt emailed to my email address. Victoria will get a confirmation as well, and I will have a serial number. This application would then be assigned to an examiner and will eventually be examined and possibly turn into a trademark. So again, you just hit your credit card, you input it here, and make sure that, yeah, this is my docket number, 275, because we did a standard application. And once I hit submit, I'll be filed, and I will have a pending trademark application, and I will have a serial number. That serial number will be tied to my application throughout the entire process, and even after. I can always find my trademark application with that serial number. So that is how you file a trademark application for your clothing brand in your personal capacity under the TS standard application. And again, it's a section 1B application, so it's an intent to use application.